Shout out to New York State Police. I had to get pulled over today because I was on the road, and while I was on the road, I learned what's in my shoe. Hold up, something's in my shoe. Oh gosh. Oh. Can't do all this all at once. But there, get that out of my shoe. Excuse me. I learned that I had a tail light out, which I did not know. And so I had to be pulled over while on the highway. And when I was pulled over on the highway, I had to also be giving a warning at first. However, when the officer went to run my information to give me my warning, the officer came back to me and said, I'm going to have to put you in my car because you have a warrant. And I'm like, don't worry, I was behaving myself because, number one, excuse me, it's really rainy and cold outside. Because, number one, I just don't think it's the proper behavior to be irate and stuff like I be seeing on my documentaries that I watch all the time. I believe I did everything that I was supposed to do correctly. When I saw the lights flashing, honestly, at first I thought I maybe was going too slow because it was, I don't know, it was dark and the rain was beginning to start, and so I thought that was probably what it was at first because I was just like, oh dear, what did I do? Because I knew I hadn't changed any lanes, so I was just like, I don't know what it could be. And the officer, I put my turn signal on, I pulled over, and I waited. But while I was waiting, I got my driver license out, I got all my paperwork out, so that way I wouldn't be like wasting their time. And so I turned my car off and rolled down the wrong window, but because on TV they go to a certain side, but I forgot when they're on the highway they usually don't go on the driver's side because of the oncoming traffic. So when I saw the officer on the right side, I opened up the window, and he was really nice, and he did the protocol, license, registration, insurance. Thankfully, I had it ready. I had no delay, not much of a delay. Handed over my documentation, and when officer came back from that, originally he said he was going to just issue me a warning because I had explained the situation, and he said he was just going to issue me a warning. But it turned out that there is a warrant for me. Someone warrants me. Shout out to Brick City, because Brick City, what are y'all doing? But anyway, I have to go to court regarding this warrant for me. And so I had the warrant for me, and the officer came back, but on the passenger side, and was like, I have to put you in my car. And I was like, so you have a warrant? Well, he told me I had a warrant first, but he told me I had to put me in the car. And I'm just like, whoa. I'm thinking like, oh no. I'm like, I have to put handcuffs on me? And he's like, yeah. So, for the first time in my life, I've had to have handcuffs put on me. I don't have any bruises on my hands. No bruises. No police brutality. None of that stuff. I'm thankful. I had a very positive and pleasant experience, and I earned my bragging rights. So the officer told me I earned my bragging rights. So this is what I'm doing right now. Bragging. And so I had to get out of the car, leave my things behind, except what was on me, which, my purse was on me, and my jacket. And so I had to turn the car off. I had to get out the car and go over to a police vehicle. I had to turn facing the vehicle, and I had to get handcuffs put on me. An officer checked to make sure that they weren't too tight. They were close to my wrist, but they weren't tight. Like, I know that they have to keep it pretty snug. So it wasn't painful. Like I could tell that I had something on my wrist that were not bangles and bracelets. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, oh, I was like, oh, this must be what puppies feel like when they have to be, when they have to go for a walk on their leash. They probably be like, I don't want that thing on me, but it's the rules. But I didn't feel like an animal, by the way. I'm not saying that to say that I felt like an animal. I'm saying like that's the only thing I could think of, a living thing that moves around where they have to kind of be like restricted to some degree. So, of course, I cooperated. A fellow officer did pull up, I guess, part of protocol just to ensure that I wasn't like a bad person that's gonna try to run away or try to become physical with the officer. And I wasn't. I'm a good person. And and the officer told me that he had to do a search. So I had to get patted down. He was professional. He was not a pervert. He was not a weirdo. He wasn't trying to feel me up or nothing weird. He let me know the parts that he had to search, and he asked me if I had things that could stick or poke him or cause any harm. He asked me if I had any weapons or anything. And I let him know no, just the zipper on my shirt that I had on at the time. He checked me, checked my pockets, found my barbecue sauce. You found my barbecue sauce. Oh, he found my barbecue sauce. And which I still have my barbecue sauce. I didn't eat it with my food earlier in the day, so it was still in my pocket. Tell y'all I keep that barbecue sauce. But anyway, I'm glad it didn't get squished because then I would have barbecue sauce all in my pocket. And that would smell good, but it wouldn't feel good if I had to put my hand in my pocket and I didn't know. That would feel yucky. So, at that point I was I handcuffed already? I don't remember. But anyway, I had to get inside the police vehicle, which, whew, the chairs were comfortable, but the leg space was like, I had to sit like sideways, kind of like I was trying to be cute and sexy at the same time. But I didn't want to have an anxiety attack, so I just stayed still. My hands were behind my back in handcuffs. I was in the car. Um, it was not hot. It was not cold. It was starting to rain from this hurricane passing over, and I just followed the rules that were given to me. An officer made some calls, pulled out a document, and told me that I would be getting a ticket, but also that I have to go to court regarding my warrant. And he was amazing. He was able to get me ROR, as I heard him say. So he was able to get me a court day versus me having to be turned in to go to a jailhouse, which thank you is all I'm gonna say. I would definitely not have liked that. I would have been like, I don't want to go to that place. But again, I'm extremely appreciative of the kindness and the assertiveness because he was professional. He was doing his job, but he also was extremely considerate to me as a person, and I just appreciated that. And so once everything was done, I was removed from the handcuffs. And he was really fun to talk to. And he told me I could hit him. I was like, no way. I was like, no way. I was like, I don't want to get in real trouble. But he was just joking with me. He was just, just kind of making sure that, that I was okay and stuff. And I asked him if I was good. I had to get the ticket, had to get the paper, had to sign and stuff. He let me get in the car and wait. And he was just really kind. He was really considerate, and it was a pleasant experience. Even though, like I said, when I watch TV and I watch the documentaries where people have to get apprehended by police, like they be wild. Like they are just unbelievable. So I'm just grateful that I'm not that type of a person where it's somewhere in my mind would have thought that that would have been cool because even when I watch it, I'm just like, what the heck is wrong with these people? But I just remember, like, you get detained, you have to like get in the police car with handcuffs, and they have to do their investigation to find out what you may or may not have done. And so that is what basically took place. And I do have to attend court. I do have a fine. I believe it's $50. So I have to make sure I pay that fine. So that way, it won't increase. And he said I'm not a criminal and that I am a really good person and that I'm really nice. And he said I earned bragging rights. He says I was the best. I forgot the word he said, but it was something arrest. I forgot what it's called, but he said that's the best experience. So I'm grateful that I had a great experience from him to me, and that he had a great experience from me to him. That means a lot to me, especially that you know I don't contend to try to be nobody's criminal and stuff like that. So I'm just happy. I'm really excited that I had a good outcome, and of course I need to go and figure out go get this tail light fixed as quickly as possible, and pay this fine as quickly as possible, and just count my blessings and be grateful that that was a positive experience and I was allowed to be let go free to come back and continue. He was really nice, and I just want to say shout out to New Jersey State Police. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for being such positive role models and influences in the communities that you serve and protect. Is that how it goes? Is it protect or serve? Or serve and protect? I think it's protect or serve. I think it's PS, not S&P. But y'all could correct me if I'm wrong. But I do appreciate that. Did my laundry stop? Let me go see. Nope. 6 more minutes. I thought it stopped. I guess it was going the other way. And again, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Much blessings, and I hope that you all can listen to this and learn from this. If you're ever in a scenario where you have to be approached by police, whether it's one police officer or multiple police officers, remember that the first thing you want to do is do not create a bigger problem for yourself. I know that sometimes you can get, worried, but, you know, my first worry was that I was like, oh snap, I thought I was driving too slow, and I'm like, oh gosh, I must be driving like a old granny or something. And it just turned out that there was actually, that's very serious. I've taken defensive driving course as a bonus with one of my insurances that I had in the past, as a bonus so I could get extra discounts. And so that's major, having a tail light out for those of you who don't drive, or for those of you who are new at driving, or for those of you who drive and you know how important it is to have all of your lights functioning, your turning signals, your headlights, your regular lights, your tail lights, your brake lights. All that is important because those are the signals that help people who are driving around you be able to determine the safest transitional moves that they have to make while they're the on the road as well. So having, even for people who forget to put on their headlights when they're driving, that's terrible. Or for people who have one headlight, that's terrible. Or people might think it's a motorcycle behind them, and really it's a car, and they only can see that one light traveling, and they could make a bad decision. So, wow, that machine's noisy. It's shaking all of them. It's like, jeez, I got scared. Like, what happened? But at the end of the day, just remember, if you have to be on the road, follow the road rules, follow the speed guidelines, follow cautionary guidelines, and Don't take being on the road as playtime. It is a privilege to have a driver license. It's a privilege to be able to drive on the road, whether you have been driving brand new, whether you've been driving forever. And just remember that taking care of your car is just as important as taking care of your own body and taking care of your most favorite hobbies and things of that nature. You got to stay on top of it. And had I known that that tail light was out, I probably would have been worried on the road, but I didn't know. But now that I know, I'm a tad bit worried if I have to go on the road, especially at night. I'm a tad bit worried because I'm just like, oh my gosh, I don't want to cause any problems for myself or for anyone else on the road. So hopefully, prayerfully, that will get fixed as soon as possible and it won't be a factor any longer. All right, shout out to New Jersey State Police. I will show you on my hair, but it got wet, so it has gotten super poofy. It looks wild. Thank you all, and God bless you, and stay safe. Peace. Time is out. And I'm sleepy. If you can't tell, I'm super sleepy. And I'm hungry.